Good. How are you?
I'm very good. We're
Uh,
back. We took a week break. Um, Very busy last week. The Knicks kind of ruined my entire week, so I was
it's
not in the best headspace to, do a podcast because the Knicks really truly ruined my week.
it's okay. I think we were all a little busy, a little tired. Took a
Yeah,
trip to Florida.
we did, which we also said we were going to do a
Nice.
podcast there and we didn't, but
Yeah,
that was because we got really busy and then it was just a lot. So we're back now.
we're back.
We're going to be back next week. We're going to make up for all the time that we lost. But we have two races to recap this week. So that's a little bonus. You're gonna get a little double action today.
We do. I'm excited. Let's
One snooze fest of a race. One was also a bit of a snooze fest
snooze-ish.
until the end.
Snooze-ish. It was a
Snooze-ish until the end.
snooze-ish.
But we're back. We have nice tans, warmer weather for 3 days. Worth it. So,
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
but let's get right into it. We're gonna recap a couple of races today, maybe go over some of our predictions from last week.
Let's do it.
See what happens. There's not all that much F1 news to talk about anyway,
Not
so
really.
save it for next week. But we do have a lot to talk about with Monaco because they tried something, it didn't work, and now there's questions around Monaco again.
Oh, dude, I love Monaco. It is such a historic race, but what are they doing? They need to they either need to change the circuit, do something, or just leave it as it is because oh, what a
See,
disaster.
it's nice because we're getting the smaller cars and the better regulations, new regulations next year, which hopefully will help a little bit.
Yeah.
They tried something this year with the two stops, this try to make it a little more interesting, and it completely backfired on them.
It backfired horribly.
Because not only did it not change anything, but it actually made the race a little more boring.
It made it worse. I felt like I was watching I don't even know. Like
Like
I don't even know how to describe what I
like
felt like. It was just
go-karts that people couldn't pass it
yes,
again.
literally. I felt like I was watching like 5-year-olds drive go-karts around a track. It was slow. It was boring. There was
We'll
no
get into the main details of it in a little bit, but we got to talk about some fun stuff that did happen because obviously with Monaco, qualifying is the race, right?
Yes, it is.
Led to a lot of chaos. Lando ends up qualifying on pole. Beautiful.
Finally,
Love it.
finally,
Shocker. He won the race. There's a
finally.
spoiler. No one's really surprised about it, right? Lando qualifies on pole, but not before a lot of drama. Because Charles ends up on provisional pole at one point.
Hmm.
I believe Max was on it at one point, and I know Oscar was as well,
I think he was too. I was scared about Oscar there for a second. I'm not gonna lie.
as you probably should be. But of course, then Charles Leclerc realizes I'm from Monaco. I know how to drive this track, and goes ahead of him. Lando then ends up putting in the lap record in Monaco,
It was
which
awesome.
is
I love
awesome and
that. That
crazy.
was such a boost of confidence, in my opinion. That okay, we're good. I saw something on Instagram, but we can talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
But he qualifies on pole with the lap record in Monaco. Do you know who the previous record holder was? And it's not really a trick question. You should probably know it.
I actually have no idea off the top of my head right now.
Lewis Hamilton. So
Oh, really?
Lando in pretty good company.
What
Lewis wins
year?
every. Let's see. I'm curious. When did Lewis set the Monaco track record? Monaco set the track record in Lewis set the track record in Monaco in 2021.
Oh, it was recent.
So that was, correct me if I'm wrong, the year that he and Verstappen were having the battle the entire time. So
I believe so. Makes
he
sense.
drove a 1 minute and 12 seconds with 909 milliseconds. What did Lando get? Lando Norris.
I
Mon
remember looking at it and it being kind of like an
I want to
instant.
say he was in the 111s. He was in the 109s.
Jeez.
I don't. That makes zero sense. There was definitely a faster lap than the Lewis one, but Lewis did have the track record at one point. So now I'm curious. There's a lot
Good.
of curiousness. So
Good.
Monaco lap records.
Couldn't tell ya.
Okay, Lewis did have the previous record. It was not the 111 that I said.
I was gonna
Lewis's
say
previous record was 110.166. Lando ended up at 109.954. So we beat it by like 2 tenths.
2 tenths of a second.
So,
Yeah. Dang.
which is quite a bit of a gap, honestly. Or 1 tenth of a second. 1 tenth of a second. Still, quite a bit. You would think it would be a little closer, but it wasn't. Shocker, Lando won the race. Nothing really important to talk about in the actual race in terms of the winning part of it, right?
Yeah.
However, some stuff did happen. Pierre Gasly tried dive bombing his former teammate, crashed the car. Didn't cause any like big drama. Yuki called him an idiot on the radio. Nothing
Yeah.
much. Gasly has been really bad lately. I'm not loving it.
He's
Alonso,
he's giving Crash out, but it's fine.
he's giving crash out, but it's fine. Alonso retires the car due to medical issue or
Mechanical.
mechanical issues. I'm on my game today. We're all tired.
I think we're both on our game today.
But manages to pull the car off the track, so there is no stoppage and nothing happens on that either. Alonso truly is the most unlucky driver in F1 this year.
Dude, I
He
feel
did get
horrible
points this week, which is
this
nice,
season. I was
but
just I feel so bad for him this season.
he did get points, which was nice in Spain, so that's cool. This was after the commentators were saying that he probably wasn't because they said something about Sainz, I think, was in P18 and Alonso was in P15, and then this before the safety car, and it was like, unless something drastic happens, neither of them are going to get a point in their home race. Safety
Yeah.
car happened. Alonso ends up in 10th. It's great. Or he ends up in ninth, actually, after the penalty. But
Yeah.
uh,
Anyways,
anyway,
the
however, the Monaco new regulations screwed some things up because some DRS trains happened to try to protect the team play.
I can't with this.
Not fun. Liam
No, it's
Lawson
not.
held up the entire pack for a good majority of the race,
He,
allowing Hadjar to pit.
he is making me so mad recently. I don't know about you. I feel like we haven't gotten into it yet, but this past week as well, like,
We will get into it. But
dude.
he's also giving crash out, but in the best
Oh my
possible way.
God. He's giving Checo.
No, I think we absolutely judged Checo a little too prematurely because Yuki's done nothing in the second car.
True.
Um, Lawson holds up the entire pack, which allows Hadjar to get his pit stops in. Also allows Esteban Ocon to get his pits in, which SD Bestie, look at that. Lawson then gets his pits in and ends up staying in eighth, but it gives Williams the same idea because then Williams starts doing it. Sainz and Albon held the entire pack up the entire time. They allowed Sainz to pass Albon, go do his pit stops, or no, it was the other way around. Sainz held up the entire pack,
Yeah, I think it was
allowing
nice.
Albon to get 20 seconds down the road to pit in front of Sainz to then do the exact same thing again. And then Williams told them to swap positions, do the exact same thing where Albon held the entire crew up. Sainz gets his pit stops, and then they flip the cars back at the end. So no one can pass anyone. Williams got 2 free pit stops, but they were like 5 seconds off the pace at one point.
Dude, I don't even know how to describe Monaco other than the fact that
A shit
it was
show. I don't
it,
curse on this
you,
podcast, but it was a shit show.
there was an alternate universe because what the hell? Sorry, what was Williams doing? What was Gasly doing? Like, what was the race itself? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't.
Which this is the best part of this.
I
As we watched, Williams was annoying Mercedes so much. Russell couldn't get past anyone. He intentionally cut the chicane out of the tunnel to get by Albon,
can't.
takes the penalty, thinking it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. The FIA gives him a drive-through penalty because he said that he did it intentionally over the radio. He could have gotten away with it without saying that. Ends up doing a drive-through penalty and finishes 11th. Doesn't have any chance of it.
You're
The worst part, which we're going to talk about later, his penalty was more severe than a certain other person's penalty for a certain thing that we will talk about later. I don't want to spoil it. Everyone knows what happens. I don't want to spoil it. We need to talk about stuff. So, Russell ends up finishing 11th, Behrman 12th, Colapinto 13th. Kimi finishes dead last of the runners because he didn't do any pit stops until there was 10 laps remaining because he was hoping for a safety car.
like what?
He did 2 pit stops within like 5 laps of each other at the end. He ended up 3 laps down. So he got dead last of the runners. Lando ended up lapping all the way up to sixth. He lapped Hajar. The only people he didn't lap was Lewis, Max, Oscar, and Charles. Um, Charles put a little pressure at Lando on the end, but then Lando got through Max and stepped on it and drove away from everyone. Max waited to do his last pit stop to the last lap because he was hoping for a safety car and a win. Didn't work. Probably was
Mhm.
never going to work, but they had to try something. He ends up fourth.
Okay.
Uh, Oscar in third, Charles in second. Nice little home race again, and Lando with the win. So
Beautiful win. Beautiful,
beautiful
beautiful
place.
end. Beautiful place.
Maybe not a beautiful race
Agreed.
for now. Hopefully that changes because you cannot ever get rid of Monaco. You need to figure it
Horrible.
out.
Dude, I can't with the two-stop minimum. That was horrible.
People, there's
What
always like the
was
F1
that?
purist too. That's like, we can't change the track layout of Monaco. It's too historic. They've changed the layout of Monaco before. Why can't we do it
They
again?
changed like everything. I don't like either make it longer or I
No,
literally
do not make the race longer. We do not need more of that.
dude, I don't even but like what else you're gonna do? Because if they keep this two lap minimum, this is like
They're never doing that again. Even the presidents and the team principals during the race said that it wasn't work. James Vowles was on the radio with the commentators and said, "This is really not good. We don't want to race like this."
it's
But it just kind of
horrible. It's
opens the strategy.
pointless. It's literally pointless. You might as well literally go ride those stupid Lego cars around and call it a day. Like it was horrible. Whatever.
We should do an episode. We're not going to do it now because we haven't prepared for it. Of ways to fix Monaco. We'll make that a topic next week.
It can be like an off season or yeah, or
Or
like
some when a
midweek.
week that we don't have a lot to talk about. If there's no news next week, we'll do it next week. If there is news, we'll save it for a little bit later. But that could be an interesting one. So,
I like it.
that's where we were at. Now, Spain,
Spain.
because
Yeah.
you needed something new because Monaco was not fun.
Mm.
Spain's a notoriously boring track. Nothing usually crazy happens, and a lot of nothing really happened this week either, until it did. Pole qualifying, nothing crazy, right? Lando and Oscar battling. Lando pulls a fast one, uses Oscar as a slipstream to get a good lap in.
I low-key loved
However,
that, by the way. I loved that.
love it. And Oscar, even on the radio, was like cheeky. It was a cheeky move. It was funny. Um, However, he didn't do it on his last lap. So the fuel load wasn't all the way down, which meant Oscar had another chance. They
Yup.
both had another chance, actually. Oscar then proceeds to put in three purple sectors on his
I
last.
was just about to say that was a beautiful, beautiful
Unreal.
lap. Oh my God. You have to give the kids some credit. I was like,
It was unreal. Proceeds to put it on pole like nothing we've ever seen before, right? Lando, in typical Lando fashion, when the pressure gets on a little bit, makes the slightest mistake,
dude, it was so
puts
annoying.
in a yellow middle sector, and ends up, I believe, actually qualifying third because I believe Max started second because
I
he did
believe I
a
want to say
fantastic
Max was second.
qualifying too,
I want to say Max was second.
which sucks. But
It's fine.
that wasn't the only drama that happened in qualifying either because Lance Stroll goes through qualifying. Then at the end of it, doesn't go and weigh in with the stewards, who
Which
then get mad at him for it, and then withdraws from the race with an injury.
Which I heard, okay, so obviously I guess it's an injury, but I also heard that apparently there was speculation as well that he fully crashed out.
I saw that as well.
And I don't know if that
Which
is
is so like he's
like
known to do
throwing
it. He's done it
stuff.
before,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know if that was kind of like what?
But you also just listen to him and like sure sounds like a snobby rich kid because that's exactly what he is. But he doesn't seem like the guy to crash out. Like he's so calm
That's
all
kind
the
of
time.
what I was saying, but it's also like I don't know if there was any reason for him to even crash out. So like I don't know where that
I'm
rumor came
pretty sure they
from.
got into
Like,
Q2 as well. Like that's good for Aston usually. Like
I think he did. I don't remember off the top of my head, but like I just didn't expect him to.
he do what he did, but then he realizes
Yeah.
it's stroke.
But I guess they were saying like he needs surgery or something. I don't know.
However, the thing that doesn't make sense to me, like, don't wish injury upon anyone, right? I hope he gets better. I hope he's good for Canada, especially at this home race. Like, prayers up, right? Hope he does well. The fact that you don't say something before qualifying, because they said that this has been bothering him for weeks. It
That's what
wasn't
I'm
just this
confused
crash out
about.
that they said.
That's what I'm confused about because if this has been bothering him, didn't he have surgery beforehand?
He did because he crashed his bike last year and
Yeah.
time and had to get surgery on both of them.
So if this is something that's been occurring for weeks, why wouldn't you?
Maybe say something before qualifying and just get checked out. Because then why is that they immediately check him out and they immediately find out that he can't race, right? Like you could have done that a day ago.
It
Like
just
that didn't just happen.
no sense to me, but whatever. I'm not Lance
It
Stroll.
ruins it ruined Aston's race because they couldn't race the second car because they Lance qualified, couldn't start, so they can't replace him. It also
I don't know
puts them
what.
up in the air for Canada because Felipe Drugovich, as well as their second reserve, I don't remember his name, unfortunately. It's how you know I'm tired, not prepared today, are both slotted to race in the 24 hours of Le Mans. Meaning, Stroll can't race. One of them is going to have to drop out. Not particularly fair, right? Like, if I'm Felipe Drugovich, I'm not doing that. They've completely
Bring on
screwed me
Mick
out of a car.
Schumacher, bring Mick back, bring bring Danny Rick back.
I saw something today that Valtteri Bottas is in the
I was just
possibilities
about
for a
to
race.
say that. I literally hold on because
I don't know how real that is, but
I was low-key snooping on his Instagram and
because he did say something today that he's not done with F1. He wants to race more,
that's what I'm saying.
but could they be a loan to Aston Martin for a race? Would be an idea.
Oh, he's
He was
right.
also talking about Cadillac today. Yeah. So could be fun. However, I did see something about him going to Aston for a race,
Yeah.
and I was not
I
lying. Lance
believe,
Stroll's replacement drama unfolds. Bottas emerges as F1 Canadian GP contender with a
isn't he
motorcycle.
isn't he Mercedes reserve driver?
He's Mercedes reserve driver, but they'll be known to like loan them out every once in a while. That's how Colapinto got a couple of his
I
drives.
mean, yeah. I mean,
So,
look at I was gonna say, yeah, look at Franco. All I'm gonna say. I love Botas. He's my favorite. He's such an odd little Aussie.
and I got the name down, right? Felipe
Okay.
Drugovich and Stoffel Van Dorn are the reserve drivers for Aston, both of which are slotted to race in the 24 hours of Le Mans. The other driver, I don't, Jack Crawford, American by the way, so
Yeah.
American coming eventually, doesn't have enough points on a super license to actually race. So it's Drugovich or Stoffel, who are both slated to run in Le Mans.
They
However, Dragovich said that if the F1 opportunity does arise, he will take it. I don't understand why he would do that because Aston Martin should have given him a seat years
I
ago
just like
because he won F2, then became a reserve driver expecting a seat in F1 and hasn't gotten it. I don't understand why you would have any faith in Aston to do anything. Sure, you want to prove yourself, but like, where's the seat? Are you hoping you're going to get the Cadillac seat? Is that what you're looking for?
I
But
don't think I would not expect I'm honestly I wouldn't even I would expect Cadillac to put a rookie in, but I would not expect them to put like
Dragovich isn't, I mean, he's a rookie, but like, he's how old now? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like I feel like he's not prevalent enough.
people forgot about he's 25. Like so look at these rookies. Ollie Behrman's 20 now. Like
I mean, Kimmy's like 18. Like I don't
Felipe Dragovich is older than me and you, which like doesn't say much. We're young people, right? If you're an F1 rookie, you should probably be younger than us.
But
Just
I
like
mean that he's older. Isn't Lando only like 24?
Lando, that actually might Lando might be younger.
Because I think
I think he might be a year older.
Leclerc's 25.
Lando's 25. They're both 25, but Lando's 1999 and Felipe's 2000. So
Okay, gotcha. I just couldn't remember how old he was.
crazy.
Anyways, I feel like you should be pretty if you're meant to race in F1, you should at least have already had a debut year, or you should already be within a couple years of your
Which isn't his fault though. Like he
It's
won
not his
F2. He
fault.
absolutely has all the qualities to race in F1. He just has, for whatever reason, stuck with Aston, knowing that Stroll's never leaving. You got Alonso, you're not replacing Alonso.
You're never
What are
not
you doing? Like, you're not going to get a seat.
nothing. I mean, he must get paid pretty handsomely if he's just gonna sit there and literally twiddle his thumbs. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. It literally makes no sense to me.
I'm trying to see how long he's been with Aston.
Probably since he was like 18. Give
Yeah,
me
he's been part of the team since 2022.
Wow.
What exactly are you expecting there? I
I don't
don't
know.
understand it. If I was him, I'd race Le Mans. You're not getting to see Aston. You're
Well,
never.
at least, yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't, why would you race? I don't know. I would leave, but whatever.
I also am biased and want to see Bottas race one more time. But
I love bow ties. He's my favorite.
besides the point. So got on off on a little tangent on Lance Stroll, as we
Little baby sister.
usually do,
But
but
it's okay. It's
time
okay.
filler to talk some news that we forgot about. So it's good.
Okay.
Now, the actual race starts. Nothing crazy really happens at the beginning. Lando ends up staying in third. He passes Max eventually. Oscar drives in the sunset, as always happens, right? However, Liam Lawson, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, was on Mr. Crash Out Liam this week,
Dude, he was,
which
oh my God.
nothing was particularly like malicious. He
It
was
was just,
being overly aggressive.
I was just gonna say, I feel like, I don't know if it was a little bit of like a right person, wrong time type of situation. Because I feel like he's genuinely a crash out driver anyways. And I feel like just so happened to make it a little worse. Maybe.
Yes. So he and Albon were going at it for quite a bit. He did make contact with them quite a couple times. He broke, Albon broke his wing once, got
Yeah.
the wing replaced, went back out, then crashed again with Lawson, breaking the wing again, retiring the car. So Albon retires the car.
Ah!
Not only did Albon break two front wings, Carlos Sainz also broke a front
Also
wing.
broke a front wing.
So Williams was down three wings,
But he stayed.
which Sainz kept going, but they were running out of wings, literally. So Albon retired. Lawson kept going, didn't get a penalty, so nothing like particularly malicious. It's just he was being crash out Liam Lawson, and I love
Yeah,
it.
I'm shocked.
And I literally wrote down in the notes that literally nothing else happened until the very
I mean,
end.
literally, nothing else happened, I think, until like lap 50, like 53 or something like that. Like
There
it
was a
was,
couple times that Lando was getting like close with Oscar. It was almost like Oscar was playing with his food. Lando
Mhm.
was like 5 seconds down at one point. He'll cut it to like 2.5, and Oscar would be like, ha, I like
Never
cut you
mind.
back, and then just drive off and that Long Island came out there, drove off into the sunset.
Yeah.
So that happened.
I
Uh,
love to hate it. I hate to love it.
however, during all this, Max is on an offset strategy. Everyone is trying one stops. Max is trying a two stop, which then turned into a three stop, which also turned everyone else into a two stop. So offset everything. However, Kimmy's engine blows up again, which second
Of
time in
course.
3 races. It's very unfortunate for him. But that's where all the chaos just erupts because safety car comes out.
Yep.
Oscar, who's 8 seconds out, is now bunched up with everyone.
Yep.
McLaren pulls off a not perfect, but a very, very impressive double stack, which
It was
probably saved them the
I
one
was
two.
I was pretty impressed, I'm not gonna
Which
lie.
absolutely did save the one two because you saw how some people on older tires or the wrong tire acted after the restart. Say
Mhm.
Lando had to stay out on old softs, he's probably getting passed by for sure Oscar, probably Charles, probably George, like a lot, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now during this, Red Bull realizes, oh no, we don't have any tires left.
Let's go on
We're
hard.
gonna go on hard
What
tires with
was
five
that?
laps left.
I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, I've seen Max upset. This man was just straight up not
Which is
happy.
even funnier though, right? Like he didn't sound upset on the radio. It was like, "What tire are we on?" And GP goes, "We're on the hard tire, Max." And
Why?
Max, in the most like stoic and just confused manner, just goes, "Why?" Like as
They're
sarcastic as
like,
possible.
we have no tires left.
And GP obviously tells him it's the only tires they have left. And Happily ever after, right? Nothing else happened. No, nothing. Some other stuff happened. And a lot of other
Then
stuff
they put me on hard tires. I'm gonna be the next Liam Lawson on this track.
happened. So restart happens. Max, notoriously good at restarts, right? You don't think anything's going to happen. Before they even reach the line, Max is sideways. I don't understand how he saved that car because he was quite literally, say this is straight,
Dude, he
this is
was
straight,
like
he's that
this.
way.
It was crazy. I mean, I feel like it's just because it's Max and he's a good driver that he was able to save that. Because
Saves
I feel like
nuts.
if it was pretty much anybody else, it would have been an immediate,
Goodbye.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
You can't ever question Max's talent because he shows it time and time again, even when he's not winning. He saves it. However, he loses all of his momentum,
lame.
which leads Charles to take him down the main straight. Gets past him. In the process, though, I don't think it was particularly on purpose. It's literally showing up on my screen right now as I have it up. Slightly moving to the left, makes
Yeah.
contact with Max.
I like looked at it and I don't think Max moved at all. Like I don't know
Exactly.
who moved and who didn't. I don't know what was going on, but like
I
Max did
thought
not
in the
move at
moment, yeah,
all.
I thought in the moment it was Max's fault
I
because
did too.
most of the time it is, right? Every time Max gets a little bit angry, he overreacts.
Yeah.
You look back at it, Charles isn't really moving the wheel. It's just his car's gradually going.
I think it
It's
was kind of one
nothing
of
that
those
he's
like
doing.
yeah.
Racing incident, right? Nothing crazy. They barely touched. It was fine. However, this now makes Max more angry, as I have written. Not happy, not happy, very not happy.
Not happy.
We're at not happy right now. We're not at very not happy yet. We're at not happy.
We're not
It's coming.
happy. We've got some more yeah.
Yeah. So, because of the incident down the main straight, we have another person now involved in the fray for P3. George Russell
Whoa,
enters the fray.
Mr.
Mr.
Consistency.
Consistency back at it again.
Oh my God.
He sees an opportunity to go after Max and gets a little aggressive. He then makes contact with Max, forcing Max off the track. Max then keeps the position from George. Charles is gone. He's already in third at this point. However, Max is now not happy with that. We're still not happy. We're not very not happy yet.
Nope, not even close.
GP then starts teetering on the side of not happy. Tells Max to give the position back to George, thinking that Max overtook George off track and George had the position. You look back at the replay and the steward's decision, because the stewards
Dude.
were investigating this anyway. Max had the place. George never took it. Max didn't have to give the position back. GP tells him to, and this is where very not happy comes in. GP tells him to give the position back. Max then gets off the gas, acts like he's letting George pass, and then says, "No, I'm not going to. I'm just not going to turn. I'm going to go straight." Goes directly into the side of George Russell's car.
I don't know what that was. Did you hear him on the radio too? He was like, "Brrrr." Oh my God, dude. I
George's reaction was really
never,
funny too. He was like actually pretty
oh
stoked
my
about that too.
God. Like, I want to pull it up. I don't think I've ever seen him like, I've seen him mad, obviously, but I don't think I've ever seen him that crash out back to back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying?
At this point, we're at very not happy. We're not at not happy anymore. We're at very not happy.
That was insane.
And by the way, in the middle of this, we haven't even talked about this yet because like the story is big. There's just not really much to talk about because he was just
Yeah.
driving so well. Nico Hulkenberg's in the midst of this now as well, driving through the entire pack. He's past Lewis at this point. So he's up in the sixth, behind Max, who's in fifth. But now Max has a penalty. So Max gets a 10-second penalty, which, by the way, like we mentioned earlier, ridiculous, right? He should have got way more. It's not like it really matters because
It's
Max ended
not
up
like it
getting 1 point for
matters.
the race. But
Let's
I don't understand.
go.
This
Like,
is the debate I want to have. How does George Russell get a drive-through penalty for cutting a chicane, which, like, fair enough, right? Not good. However, Albon would then have to make 10 seconds. Russell would have to make 10 seconds up on Albon to keep that place, right? Probably not going to happen.
it.
Max intentionally drives into someone, like intentional. He drove into him, like caused the crash. Gets 10 seconds. How he wasn't DQ'd and how he wasn't something more severe, ridiculous to me. Like, please explain.
I mean, I don't know if there is an ace. I don't know. I agree with you on the fact that I don't think George should have gotten.
Drive through.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
But
because
even if you want to give George a drive through, you have to give Max something more severe than that.
that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't you can't just go like tit for tat or however you're feeling for the day. Like there needs to be some type of consistency in the way that they're like
Which
handing
it's the
out
FI, there never
penalties.
is.
I know, but it's like ugh, I don't know. It just
Because
doesn't.
there's no question at all that that incident was worse, right? Like Max intentionally tried driving into someone. Like you could say, like actually tried to hurt someone. Like he wasn't trying to hurt George. He was just frustrated. But it's dangerous, right?
Yeah,
George
well,
didn't do anything particularly dangerous. Like he just got an advantage, right? And that's what a penalty's for. Drive through's crazy. Even if it's not crazy, you have to do something worse for Max. You can't be doing that,
it
right?
just again, there's just like the hypocrisy that they go through on this stuff is it's getting kind of frustrating and it's like, yeah, obviously like love Max and all, but come on, like really
Yeah. So
like
any
almost
sort
a
of
penalty like
adversity is never good for him.
dude, but it's also on top of that. I don't know if he cussed on the thing or not. I don't remember exactly what he was saying on the
To be
radio.
honest, he
But I'm
definitely
like,
did.
this dude was full on crashing out. It wasn't like he was like, oh, my bad, 10-second penalty. It was like, no, like,
Yeah.
dude.
So that happened. Max then gets a 10-second penalty, demoted from P5 to P10, allowing Nico Hulkenberg to get P5.
Fucking
I
man.
love it. Nico
That
gets
was crazy.
P5.
I I was not expecting a what are they now?
Sauber, Kick
Sauber,
Sauber. There's like a whole bunch of names. Like, who cares? They suck.
whatever they are. I was not expecting one of those in any of the top
They
three
got more points
today.
from Nico in this one race than they've gotten all season. So,
Yeah. Good for them. I'm not mad about it. I kind of love
exactly.
to see Nico
Passing, Mattia Bonato is also the team principal right now of Kick Sauber that no one really cares about because they're so bad, right?
yeah.
Passing a Ferrari is just kind of poetic, right? He passed Lewis.
Dude, it was a beautiful
So
pass too. Did you see
it was
it?
great. It was awesome. Lewis at sixth. Who got seventh? Actually, I need to look at this. Seventh
Um,
was Hajar, Mr. Consistency again. Isaac Hajar has been fantastic. He's probably the best Red Bull driver of the Red Bull family besides Max. Gasly got eighth. Didn't realize that. Gasly did well. Alonso in the points after saying that, after we said he wasn't. He got ninth, finishing 10th. Max then got 10th with 1 point, which is a bit ridiculous in my opinion. 1 point's not that big of a deal, so it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Leading Mr. Oscar Piastri to keep the win, Lando to get second, and Charles on the podium. The points has now been tightened up, which is nice because
I was
during
just
the two races, Lando did make up a little bit of ground because Oscar finished third in Monaco. It is now only a 10-point lead for Oscar in the championship. So that's cool, which is also nice to see. Max is closer to George in fourth than he is
I
to
was gonna
Lando
say
in
the
second.
against Norris, which is beautiful.
So that's cool. Um, Max also, which we haven't talked about, we probably just touch on it briefly, now has 11 penalty points. He is one
Oh,
away from a race ban.
one away. I didn't realize there was a reset though on June 30th. I
There's
mean,
a reset on June 30th because that was when he got the two last time. He got two penalty points last year, June 30th. And it's how many you have in a calendar year, right? So they go away after a year.
yeah. I didn't realize it was
Um,
June 30th.
Canada is on June 15th and Austria is on June 29th. So he has time to get it. I don't know what I'm confused about, right? Say he got the last penalty point in Austria, right? He got it on June 29th, but the two
So does
points
it still count?
gone June 30th. He would have the amount, but by the time that they went to Great Britain and went to Silverstone, he wouldn't have that amount. So I don't know if that would matter.
I feel like I think if I'm looking at it, if he gets it, so yeah, so let's say he gets it the 29th, right? I feel like that's end all. Like that day it is still not reset. So I feel like the
Probably
suspension
get suspended for
still
the next race.
I still feel like the suspension would go in effect, but his it would be whites, you
But
know?
also the way that they've been throwing up penalty points, he's probably not going to just get one at a time. Like he's at 11 right now. 12 would be getting suspended. However, he just got three from last race, or two or three from last race. Um, so if he gets one, it's probably not just going to be one. So it's probably not going to be an issue.
No,
Hopefully he doesn't get one. I don't want to see a race without Max because why would you, right?
I kind of do. It means he's out of the freaking top five at that point.
I mean, he's not winning the championship this year. Let's be honest here, right? So I'm
I
just going to enjoy Max
know.
racing well now.
But knowing Max, he's gonna pull some shenanigans sometime in the freaking rest of the
We're
season.
gonna get to see Max Verstappen number 33 again. He's gonna come back to the old number. Maybe we'll see Lando Norris number one.
That would be awesome.
I doubt it at this point, but
That would be awesome.
that would be nice. But yeah, that was everything at the Spanish Grand Prix. Next race is Canada. We're not gonna do a predictions for it today. We're not gonna go over. We'll mention it, right? I'm not gonna say exactly what happened. City made up some ground again.
I did make
So.
round.
You know what? Let's just go over it quick because nothing
Might
really.
as well. It
It's
was for the
it's
Monaco
quick,
race.
right?
For
We're not
Monaco.
gonna do fantasy or anything because
We
we
can do
didn't
that
take
next
last
week.
week and stuff
We're
like
gonna
that.
we're gonna
But
talk next week.
the predictions from Monaco, we didn't do any for Spain just because we took the week off. City made up some ground because I got a little aggressive with my thinking.
Yeah, you did. But which I'm very proud of you for because
I gotta take some chances while I have, right?
honestly, I've been going kind of safe because I needed to make up the ground points because I think you were beating me by like 12 at one point in time.
I was beating you by 12 before this, actually. So entering into this race, it was at 21 to 9 me. I had a couple good races, yada, 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 whatever, right? My predictions went Oscar, George, Lewis, Albon, Charles, and Lance Stroll in 10th. I said Lando and Max were going to crash each other out in Monaco because they were going to need to be aggressive to try to get something. No one
Not
really did
even.
anything. Everyone acted pretty lackluster off the start,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
everybody's pretty calm.
However, Lando did absolutely lock his tires into turn one of Monaco, so we almost got it. I don't want to see that, but I
It
almost nailed my
wasn't meant to
prediction.
be. It
Almost
wasn't
nailed it.
meant to be.
Shocker. I didn't get anything right. Oscar didn't win. That was the only thing that could have happened. It didn't. I had Charles in fifth. He got second. I had Oscar winning. He got third. So, whatever. Sydney, on the other hand,
Oh, so close.
she didn't get much right. She only got one right, but she got the winner right. So she got 5 points out of it. She
Woo!
had Lando in first. Lando got first. She had George in second. George was screwed because of the two stop. Didn't even finish in the points. Oh well. She had Charles in third. Charles ended up getting fourth.
I was so freaking close, dude.
She had Oscar in fourth. Oscar got third.
Oh,
Literally, all you
freaking
needed to
George,
do was
man.
take George out. And suddenly, it was 21 to 9. It is now 21 to 14. It could have been, what would it have been? 21-17, 21-19 if you got those
God,
two.
George did horrible.
If George was not there, you would have only been down two. You would have had an absolute baller of a week. She put
Oh,
Hajar in ninth. Hajar is honestly starting to be the guy that's going to get above ninth every time because
he
he
got
got
six.
sixth.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. Ocon got seventh.
Okay, I think you were thinking about taking him too, which is really funny. But Ocon got seventh,
I love my
and
ex.
Alex Albon got ninth, who she needed to predict ninth for Albon. She picked Hajar.
I was
I
gonna say
needed to
I had a
predict 10th.
Williamson fifth, but
I took Lance Stroll in 10th. It was Carlos Sainz. I thought Carlos was going to be a lot better than he was. He was not. But 21 to 14 now. Sydney's making the comeback. What was she down originally?
like 12.
At one point, you were down.
I was bad. I was so bad. I'm gonna scroll up.
You were 17 to
I
5
I
down at
was
one
just gonna
point,
say I was literally 17 a point. Wow.
which
Got
then turned to
nervous
you were
going.
down 21 to 5 at one point. So you've made a 9 point swing. Nine unanswered.
I'd be nervous.
I'm feeling a lot less comfortable and not going to take as many risks anymore.
I'm kidding. For all we know, freaking
But this
Nico's gonna be
also,
free next like
we can introduce this now because we're back tied again. Remember how we mentioned we were going to do a double points week?
Yeah.
We can bring that back now because it is a lot closer.
Fine.
We will discuss that off camera and
We
next
can,
week. We'll
we'll
figure it
figure
out.
that out. We can figure that out later.
However, we've covered everything we wanted to cover.
I'd say so. I think it's a pretty good overall. Whatever. We've got a what? I'm gonna call it a bye week this week,
A
but
bye week, but we got plenty of stuff to talk about because we got to recap the race or
yeah,
debrief what we think is going to happen next week.
gotta catch up on all of our predictions.
And by the time we make our episode next week, we're probably going to have an answer on if Lance Stroll is actually going to race or not.
I
So
know. I'm actually very curious to see where that ends up because I haven't seen anything about it.
I haven't either. It's been a couple
I
days
just
and
keep
everything.
getting ads for the F1 movie, which I don't know if I'm excited to see it, but
We're
the
going
more
to see it at some point,
I
so we'll figure
know,
it
I
out.
know, but
We also
the more I'm like, ugh.
know the F1 arcade in Philadelphia has opened, which
It
we're
did open.
also
It
talking
opened
about going to.
last week or the week
It was a week or
before.
two.
My friends went. They said it was
I
fun.
will be coming soon. So we've already started talking about it. We just need to find the weekend. So,
We'll get there.
but in the meantime, fun episode as
Great
always,
recap.
and we'll see you next week.
We will see you guys next week. We've got race predictions, hopefully some news.
Hopefully, some news, Canada to talk about. And you know what I'm gonna do because I haven't actually looked at it at all. I didn't watch it, which is really criminal of me. I'm gonna watch the Indy 500 within this next week, and I'm going to try to talk about it a little bit next week because
Uh,
see what
I
happens.
didn't watch too much of it, but go Pato. We love Pato Award.
He didn't win.
He's
Alex
our,
Palou won, former McLaren reserve driver. So
he's our,
take it.
I was gonna say he's our McLaren.
Alex Palou is former, Pato is current. So, but this is an F1 podcast, not an Indy
We don't
500
talk about it.
podcast.
We don't talk about
We're
it.
gonna talk about it
Endurance
eventually.
racing, maybe next. Who knows? We'll find
We'll
out.
see.
Le
But
Mans.
in the meantime, we'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Peace out.